Hey guys. Just blessing the vibes in the air right now. Oh man, smoke can speak, let me tell you. Right now in the smoke, I see a lot of spirit animals. A lot of you guys on here have wolves, huh? What's with the wolves lately? I've been seeing them a lot. Sadly, the wolves are going low in numbers on Gaia. So they've been coming out more in spirit. Let me put this down real quick. Don't follow me, please. Good afternoon, guys. I wanted to kind of dig deep into my soul identity a little bit. And like, this is not for those that have like a clogged pineal gland. Because usually the ones with the pineal gland clogged tend to be like, the fuck is she talking about? Or, find a way to be entertained by it more than just marinating it. So there is a difference. But this video is not going to be for everyone. Like I said, we have a lot of non-believers and skeptics and yada, yada, yada. So this is more for my spiritual family and the ones that know me. I just want you guys to be able to fully know me, like from within. You know what I mean? Like my soul age, where I come from, my experiences, the lives I've lived, things like this. So you know where all of my natural wisdom comes from and where, I can actually express everything and not care right now about limits or my own personal boundaries I have. So, like I said, if you're not consciously on a vibration where you can get what I'm talking about and it's going to be just entertainment to you, then this is the time to log off of my video. But like I said, this is my truth and this is my visions I have seen, my dreams I have had, my past life regressions I have received, and from what total strangers who have abilities have told me on a daily basis when I'm in public, whenever I am in public, because I am a severe introvert. But it has all come together and it has helped me figure out who I am on a cosmic level, what my soul is, what my soul origin is, and things like that. Not my physical body, okay? That's a whole totally different experience. And that's just one little lifetime compared to many, many that I have lived on here. So, first off, I know that my soul has came from the heavenly aspect of the vibration in that dimension for the simple fact that they were the first beings to come and speak to me and basically tell me this stuff through visions, meditations, even daydreams. Your daydreams sometimes can be so random, but a lot of times it's your soul tapping into something. So we have to be able to pay attention to when we have those zone out moments. You know what I mean? Sometimes and it's like dangerous to say this, but sometimes I zone out. Even in the process of being at a stop sign, a red light, driving, I gotta like snap myself out of it, okay? That's your soul channeling. It's channeling information and data, okay? Or having a memory or a remembrance of what it's been through, because every lifetime we have, we're born with Alzheimer's. We don't know where we come from. We're always trying to figure it out. What's the answer to this? What's the answer to that? But the more we learn to work with our soul and better ourselves and learn to observe the world from an outside point of view, like you don't come from Earth originally, you tend to learn a lot more about the species, about yourself, about your vibration, what you're capable of doing, how your mentality should be, how your emotions should be, and how to work with energy, because we all are walking energy, okay? So I know that I came from the heavenly realm. I know that I was one of the protectors of children, because I'm very, very passionate about kids. I know their important role on earth and how it's a huge deal, how they are being led by the adult generation, because it can impact and change frequency within our earth, Gaia. Okay? And that's very, very important because we're actually the ones that set an example, but then at the same time, we have to lead them to the truth, to be survivors, to be warriors, to know that this world is not Alice in Wonderland or, cotton candy and unicorns. You can let that be their belief for as long as you can, but later on, they're going to start having questions form in their natural consciousness about how the world works and how come this is this way and this is that way. And that's very, very important, depending on how you answer it, okay? Because you're also feeding a child information, but you got to remember, if it ain't facts, then you're leading the child to what you personally feel. So children to me are a huge deal in the world. They're the ones that we can help shift the vibrations to be the way they're supposed to be, which is all perfectly balanced, not one more than the other. I know that I was there to do a job, and that was to protect and guide the children. And all of a sudden, as I said in a few videos, Michael is actually the one that, Michael and Metatron are partners, and they actually are the ones that run that realm. Michael says the orders, Metatron records it, puts it on file, makes sure that it's there. They are like on time with their evidence. Okay, like if Michael gives an order or wants a certain design to happen in these dimensions, Metatron's the one that is that, like that lady in court that's always typing everything that's being said. He's the messenger, he's the recorder, he's the journalist. Okay? And Michael is more of the stern sergeant mentality that wants things a certain way. And if you question or even try to challenge in some way, you automatically fall. Okay? So a lot of the angelic beings that have fell, a lot of times it's not because they were sadistic or, selfish or anything like that. A lot of them just were beings created to be curious, to always have a thirst for knowledge and, things like that, because they have a brain that consistently wants to work and, things like that. And a lot of times the fallen angels are people like that are the most giving, that are empathic, that want to change the world, that want to help. So people always get the fallen angel, like the wrong idea of it because of the media and society in general. They destroy the name without doing the knowledge or tapping into their own natural ability given to them from their soul to find it out themselves through the meditations, through dreams, through daydreams, through visions, through, premonitions, things like that. We all have the potential to have the ability to know how to manipulate and change vibration in our environment, okay? It's science. That's just science. Science tells you that you are energy. You vibrate. When you're emotional, you have this vibration that others can feel. When people are talking about you and you walk in and it's quiet, you can feel that. That's science. That's fact. So all really what I truly believe in is that we're all energy. We can all like vibrate what we want. We can attract what we want. We can basically have full control of our own lives. And not just this life. All the lives that we're consistently repeating because we never learn what we are, or we never learn how we're invented or how we're created, or we never understand the full lesson we're supposed to learn, which it can either be patience, it can be anger, it can be learning to let go, maybe resentment, maybe learning to have confidence, knowing what you are. That's what this life is about. It's about waking up so that your next life, if you have one, because usually when you have the answers to your life and your being, a lot of times you don't reincarnate because you learned your lesson. You educated yourself on the lesson. Okay? So, if you don't want to repeat this over and over again, you have to eventually wake up. And if you don't in this life, it's okay. But you will just have to be ready for the next life. And you don't even know if you're a woman, a man, a cat, a flower, a tree. You know, it all depends on your karmic vibration as well. What are you giving out and receiving? Okay? That's what we have to pay attention to. And with my soul Anya being the angel of children, she always wanted to vibrate purity and innocence in them and let them enjoy being natural explorers and being curious and learning from experience and things like that. Well, one day, many moons ago, Michael decided to create SIDS, which is sudden infant death syndrome. You know, where infants die for no reason. They have no scientific explanation for it or nothing, and it happens more than people know. Okay? He created SIDS to basically have more souls come to that realm to train and all of that, so that, you know, the dynamic can be strong. They can build their armies. Every dimension has armies. Every dimension has a group of beings that protect, just in case if something goes wrong. It's every realm. It's every dimension. Okay, we have it here in the human dimension. Cops, the army, the military, all of that in general. That's our protection. Okay? Every realm has that. Okay? So, what happened was he wanted more energies, more souls to recruit in that field. And Anya was against it. She was against hurting the mothers of those children that way. You know what I mean? She didn't want to do it because a lot of times when a child deals with SIDS or a parent is experiencing SIDS or even miscarriages too, they feel like in a way it's their fault. And she didn't want to deal with that guilt, you know, of taking something away from someone who didn't do anything to deserve it. So she fell. Okay? And of course, in all reality, I say she, but my energy is both. Your soul is not a male or female. It's actually both. So you are just a being. You're it. You're not a she, you're not a he. But I like to use she because in a lot of my lives, most of the time, I was a female. So I assume my soul was mostly female because my lives were mostly female. So Anya, and plus the name Anya, obviously, is a girl's name. So with that being said, she fell, okay, because she refused to do it. She questioned, you know, what happens to these innocent moms that lose a piece of their heart and soul that they created in their bodies that you're snatching away from them. And he didn't like it too much. So he made her fall. And he told her, you are not, you know, sometimes angels are not permanently banned. Sometimes they actually have to do a mission or earn their way back, if that makes sense. So he told her she had a mission to do in order to earn her way back. And missions are almost impossible. These missions ain't like go fetch me a muffin or something. These are missions like, you know, learn to ascend the whole species or learn to speak for animals or, you know, things that feel so big and out of our way or like we feel this big, but the mission is this big. Those are usually the jobs given to those that have to earn their way back into a certain realm. Doesn't matter what realm it is. They all have some kind of way you have to, like, show you're loyal and show you want it that bad. And, you know, things like that. So she fell from that realm and ended up on Andromeda with starseeds, with aliens and, like, beings, beautiful beings, though. They looked nothing like us. They are a tone of, like, ocean blue and have a seed of something up here that lights up and really big cat eyes and round heads and bald, of course, like Andromedians don't really have hair. Like the actual beings don't have hair. And they dress almost like humans, but they have like royalty look to them. Like, you know, how royal Indians dress or something like that. It's very pretty. It's like you're in a glistening world with Andromeda, okay? Everything is metallics and glistening, like diamonds in the sun type glistening. And you're always like squinting. That's why they have the cat eyes. It's like, but they're big cat eyes. They look like doll eyes mixed with cat eyes. And very, very intelligent beings. They actually have a big part of having some sort of control with Earth. A lot of reptilians work for them. And a lot of people think all reptilians vibrate like negative, but some can actually be protectors, kind of like an alpha husband. It all depends on the person that they're also driving, meaning the vessel, okay? Because if the vessel's an empath and they're reptilian, they are confused with themselves and they're trying to keep that balance. So she learned a lot of knowledge from that star system. She learned technology knowledge. She learned predictions. She's learned how the human race is destroying itself and coming up and creating illusions to destroy themselves and things like that. So not only did she have the mission for Michael, the starseeds needed her to do something as well because she has a different vibration from a different dimension. So if you combine two dimensions together, vibration, it's kind of like creating an ultimate hybrid. Okay? So they gave her that knowledge and wisdom and training and all of this stuff. And they had, before she came to Earth, and me personally, Jack, hello, me, she was many other people before me. Like, from what I've gathered together in my abilities, she's been on Earth over 7,000 years. So she's lived so many lives as different vessels to feed off of or control, in a way. Okay? Like, it's crazy. When you really think about it, our life is a sci-fi movie. But, when she came into me, she found a specific energy to transform into, to properly do what she's supposed to do, which is she found a vessel that had an ability, that was born from family lines that have abilities. Like, I'm Irish Scottish, which makes me Gaelic, okay? And when I tap into my Gaelic roots, some were Celtic and some were Avalonian. And Avalon is like an island of female magic. Women, gorgeous goddess-looking women who did magic and didn't allow men on their island. And when there was men, they would seduce the men and, you know, feed the men and do things and take advantage of the men and later kill them. You know, it's kind of like almost how sirens work, the mermaid. You know, the history of the siren. So Avalonians are very alpha, powerful women who know what they are and embrace who they are and know they have a power of seduction or with words or their mind. So they know how to get people into the mind and see their point of view of things and understand it, because a lot of times they touch your soul with their words. So I have that in my blood. I also have the Celtic magic in my blood, believing in other realms like, you know, fairies and studying that Celtic path. I'm still learning that Celtic path, okay? So, you know, a lot of times I have to learn that. And then I'm raised by 100% Puerto Ricans, like full-blooded Puerto Ricans. My mom is full-blooded. I'm half Puerto Rican. And that, when you dig deeper into that, I find out my great-grandfather and all of that, they were Tainos. They worked with herbs. They were natural healers. They lived in the woods and hunted and, you know, survived that way. So I'm naturally awesome with herbs. I can create an ultimate cough syrup or, you know, natural holistic stuff for your body that I know is helping, not harming you. And that comes from my ancestors from the Hispanic Latina side of me. So I'm trying to combine all that magic in this lifetime. And that takes years. You're not gonna like figure it out and know automatically, well, this is this and this and that, because you always have to dig deeper into your ancestry. And Ancestry.com ain't the way to go, let me tell you, because in all reality, they're just keeping your DNA. So when you commit a crime, they can find you. So I mean, like, digging yourself, doing the research yourself, asking your family questions about your bloodline. Ask your mom about your grandparents. Ask your grandparents, if they're still alive, about your great-grandparents. Get an idea of what they were into, what their path was, what their religion was. Things like that, so you get a sense of who you are. And that's what I am doing, you know what I mean, as my soul. And every life, I tried to figure it out, and I didn't. I found out most of my lives I was a female. A lot of lives I was in ancient times. I was part of Atlantis. I was part of ancient Egypt. I was part of ancient Greece. Like, it's nuts. You think how far back your soul has experienced being on Earth, okay? It's crazy. Because if you really think about it, for those that don't believe in reincarnation, why do you like certain colors? Why do you like certain things? Why do you like things certain ways? Stuff like that. That has a lot to do with your roots and your soul origin. Sometimes your soul likes to peek through. And every experience you have that breaks your heart or things like that, it's a crack in your body. Wow, I like your haircut. Give me 5. You look hot.
We also went to the hospital and I got 2 things.
Nice.
I got a T-Rex head and I got a little owl.
Nice. Did you guys eat?
Oh yeah, we ate breakfast already.
Oh, okay. We'll go downstairs. I'm doing a video. Lock my door, baby. When I'm done, I'll come talk to you.
Okay. Bye,
Go.
Mommy.
Bye. But, yeah. I forgot what I was saying. You see? I can't get distracted when I'm going because it's like a process, a machine going. And I'm getting distracted again.
Sorry, baby. I forgot today off.
Thank you.
Eat over here.
Can I have my food? I'm starving. Phoenix, go. I'm not sharing. Can you go? I'm doing a video.
Yeah.
Jesus. Men. So anyway, like I was saying, so with this lifetime, I am realizing that I still have a lot to learn with my patience, with a lot of that stuff. And with my frequency, it's been crazy because like I said, I was in ancient Rome. I remember being in Sparta times, and I believe I was even at a few times in my life, I was English. I was somewhere in Europe. One of my lives, I remember rescuing white slaves. And it was a time where people wore like loose gowns, it looked like pajamas and things like that. I don't know if it was the Holocaust. I doubt it because the people sounded English, and I was watching them from like kind of like a globe point of view and telling them how to get out, and it was weird. I'm still trying to figure out what that vision was, but it was so vivid, and I had that dream at least 3 times, so I know it means something. But I gotta tap more into my lives, and I feel like when you find out what you are and who you come from, where you come from, and we do come from more than one place, you're actually fascinated and more in love with yourself to learn about yourself. And when you do, there's a confidence that sneaks in there, and you can actually shine like the natural metallic colors you are. Even if the world is saying it's too bright, don't lower that, because you know your truth. You know the truth of the soul and how it works and how energy doesn't dissolve or diminish. It just transforms and transmutes and changes and needs hosts and things like that. We are basically aliens. You know, when we watch alien movies, you see they need a host, and sometimes they mimic the host or something like that. That's the way the soul is. So from going from Andromeda here, 7,000 years, I know a lot of my lives, my death was suicide. Sucks. But a lot of times it was due to a twin flame issue. Okay? Either he went into battle or just died. I lost him. One way, shape, or form, I lost him. And I couldn't handle it. So I committed suicide a lot of times in my life. That's probably why I'm so dependent on love. Like, I can't be single. I don't know how to be single. I don't know how to be, not really on my own, because I am an introvert. Like I said, I like to be left alone, even if I got somebody. But just to know you're a partner with another soul, and you guys can create empires. And I believe in the whole gods and goddesses, creating empires, and kings and queens creating empires. And I believe in that stuff, like you can feed off each other in positive ways. So I don't like being single. I don't like being alone. I like affection. I like being able to talk shit and be myself and vent to someone all the time whenever I want. I also really like intimacy, like a lot. So when you're alone, it's boring. It's boring being a lot of times. Get arthritis and stuff. But point being, like, I love having a partner. I love being in relationships and being committed. And I think that has a lot to do with my past lives, with always losing someone or things like that. I think that also has a lot to do with the times why my relationships don't work, because I'm always losing him in every life. So it's like a pattern that I need to change or break, like a cycle. And it's amazing. Like I'm saying, like when you do soul work and you realize all of you and what you come from and why you know naturally good things and you're naturally talented and things like that, like there's just this energy that automatically comes into your soul and it exposes itself. And it's not like it really cares about consequences, because in all reality, it's being free, being a free spirit. And I noticed in a lot of my lives, I was a free spirit. So I know that I'm supposed to always be exposed. And I like being that way anyway. I like being open and honest and 100%, because I don't have no baggage of secrets or skeletons or, things like that in all reality. Like, if people try to bring up skeletons or secrets, I'm like, dude, I talked about that 2 videos ago. Like, and people already know what they're dealing with me. And I noticed that's my soul. My soul's like that. That's not my body. My body is more like shy. And I don't really talk to people unless they talk to me first. I don't just go up to people and start a conversation. Like, that's just not how I am. Because as soon as I see a type of judgment face, I shut down and I go another way. But my soul is more of the type to be open and raw. And just say how it is. And if you don't like it, then go somewhere else or things like that. It's a type of like warrior confidence that it naturally has, that really nobody's opinion matters to me. Like, when people are saying nice things, I appreciate it. It feeds my soul love vibes. But when people say mean things, it doesn't really bother me. It's more motivating. Like, you got education to do on me, Like, for real. Like, you gotta know. You want to know something, just ask me. I tell you, because I'm 100. I just love being that way. And a lot of people think that it's a problem. For example, like they say you should never be too open. We have crazy people in the world. I get that. But it's not like I'm exposing my address and my phone number all the time or, things like that. Like, I'm still smart with my common sense while I'm open. I just want people to know who I am as a person. And it's not to, like, get the wrong idea, because a lot of people, like, sometimes take it as, oh my God, She's like an awesome soul. I like her. I'm in love with her. And in all reality, you're not. You're just accepting of me. That's it. Okay? You're just accepting of me. Or a lot of times it could be lust. And lust hurts people. And I'm not dealing with that. So, I think it's the best way to describe being your complete soul out. Like, so many people are scared to have their heart out on their sleeve or their soul out because they get hurt. But in all reality, that's not why you get hurt. You don't get hurt for exposing your soul or putting your heart on your sleeve. You get hurt because sometimes it's a blockage of yourself. Maybe you have expectations or your standards are too high, or maybe you need to check yourself. It's not the person that's in all reality intentionally trying to hurt you, but maybe it's the way you take certain things. I'm not saying to always blame yourself, but it takes two to tango. And when someone usually makes a mistake, you have to also observe it from a third party view so you can see both sides of the mistake. Maybe you fed or enabled that behavior, or maybe, things like that. I'm telling you, you see shit from a different point of view. You see things in a different angle, and then you learn to handle it like an actual mature adult. Another thing too is that when you are fully open with yourself and with your emotions, your mind state, your belief system, regardless of what your belief system is, you know that you're always content, even during a challenge, because you know what the challenge means. You know why you're receiving that challenge. You know how to handle it, or you're thinking of solutions instead of moping in it. You just respond differently to things, okay? And a lot of times your way of thinking of solutions, people will be like, yo, that was just common sense or so simple. I couldn't even think of that. And you're like, sometimes you need to observe it in order to know how to handle it. And a lot of times people don't observe things. They just want to act on emotion or heat of the moment. When you are raw soul and raw heart and raw mind, you are basically flaunting all of yourself in a more deeper way than just nudity in the physical plane. Okay? You are already who you are, so there's no reason to try and to impress people in a way to try to please people or anything like that, because you are completely exposed, spiritually exposed. Okay? Soul-wise, you are fully exposed. So if somebody doesn't like something, okay, they should be able to have that vibration response back to be able to let you know and walk away, or not even let you know, just walk away, or if you inspire or motivate people, you're vibrating, you're sending those vibes to them without them realizing it, and they're actually responding to it. Like I said, when you are yourself, regardless of it, you are inspiring somebody because they wish they can be themselves, or they pretend to be somebody else to avoid chaos, or they know they're not going to be accepted as themselves. So they limit their soul and they put bricks on its feet and basically put it in a spiritual pool of water, hoping that it will float. But in all reality, they're sinking it slowly because they are worried about other people and not being, oh my God, if I'm not accepted, this is what's going to happen. But in all reality, the world today is starting to be a little more open-minded, and we got to remember that. Yeah, we still have racist and hateful people in the world, but that's not all that is making the world circulate. We do have people that are now protecting the LGBT, or, speaking up for Syria, or, things like that. Not everybody is hateful and bigot and, ignorant or anything like that. There are people that are realizing that knowledge is power, or they've had a bad experience with law enforcement and now they're reading law books or something. And we have to remember that this is all balance, okay? And we have to learn to make our souls and our vibration survive in that balance of chaos. that is so unpredictable with our universe and Gaia, how they work together and shift, and the magnetic poles, and Mercury in retrograde and Jupiter in retrograde, and it's crazy when you have multiple planets in retrograde because you're feeling multiple feelings, multiple thoughts at the same time, like you're actually experiencing all the vibrations going on in your universe, and that's what makes your being such a powerful being. Okay, you're basically a radar for your universe and cosmos. Oh, thank you. Damien looks so cute with his haircut. Looks like a little military band. So, with that being said, like, when you're yourself and you expose your soul and your heart and your intentions, your agenda, things like that, you get also a natural respect from other people who are in the process of growth and progressing every day. Okay? Certain people don't, like, they don't talk dirty to you. They're not disrespectful. Like, they talk to you like you're a sensei or a guru. And that's not like really what we're trying to do here, is like feed our ego. But it feels nice when people talk to you with respect, like they're speaking to the Dalai Lama or something like that. That's why I continue to explore myself, because as I explore myself, I realize that people's vibrations of me that I am projecting out is giving me the type of respect I deserve. So it's always working from within to get a certain vibration out there to receive it back in. It's like how roots feed off water to grow, and we, a lot of times, even though people say don't depend on other energies and all that, you need to. In a way you do. Even for positive, you need to. You needed to water your roots so you can grow. Positive or negative, it all depends what you want fed into your roots. You know what I mean? And when you are exploring yourself and who your soul is and what you're capable of doing and what your origins are and your actual soul age and all of this stuff, not only do you get respect, you also attract people who are very loving, who are accepting. I'm working. Let me see.
What?
Your hair. You wanted it shorter?
Yeah.
I thought you just wanted the ends cut. It looks good. Do you feel better?
Yeah. And every time I play football.
Go, please, I'm working.
And every
Go.
time I play football, I don't get hit in the head anymore because my hair is not.
Well, your hair was really long. Go. I'm working.
Why are you here?
I just want to say hi to Mama.
Yeah.
So, those are a lot of the benefits that you get from exposing your soul, your heart, and your mind. Also from exploring yourself. You also get this glow in your body, in your eyes, in your skin, regardless of what it is. Because when you find out what you are, your brain is marinating the information. And it's manifesting in your physical world as well as your spiritual world. Okay? You start to treat people differently. You start to gain more patience or more knowledge of thyself. You start to know your own boundaries and what you don't want people crossing. You know that you're a walking balance. Not only are you sweet, loving, and giving, you don't mind getting your hands dirty for those things you love or those people you love. Just being an ultimate warrior. And that's healthy. I am still dealing with my human depression and things like that. And I like to explain that my depression never comes from how I feel about myself. I know that I am a goddess in my own way. I know that I am doing my job on earth here. I know that I am healing people's souls from the wounds that they have gotten from so much of their lifetimes. The hurts, the traumas, the disappointments. I want to evolve the soul. Because just like how some people believe in evolution, we come from the monkeys and all of that, your soul does have evolution. Evolution is still questioned in the physical plane, but evolution does happen in the other dimensions and in the spirit world. You're always growing and changing form. It's like the tadpole to the frog to the toad to, who knows, a snapping turtle or some shit. That's what I'm trying to say here. We're always mutating, transmuting, changing, transitioning, transforming. So we have to remember that. And when we learn to expose that in our physical body, that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to be our true self. We're supposed to inspire other people to be their true selves. Now, if, like I say, we do have energies on here that are naturally dark, naturally like, evil things or harming people or things like that. Those are natural energies as well. I'm not saying you have to applaud it, enable it, anything like that. I'm saying that you have to remember that they're also vibrating beings, just like you are. And we do have two spectrums. We do have a light and a dark spectrum. And no, they're not in war with each other. They're both working with the dynamic to make it healthy. Now, if one, is getting stronger than the other, then the other one will push back. And that's why we do have chaos and blessing. Chaos and blessing, cause and effect. Decision and consequence. It's basically a representation of both spectrums. Okay? And a lot of times we got to realize our body's the same way. Our energy is the same way. It's created with light and dark. And we have to keep that balance and that spectrum going the way it's supposed to be, healthy and designed. Okay? Realizing what is illusion and what's not. What is important, what is not. Learning to let go of things, because when you don't, it's another string you're wrapping around yourself to tie yourself up with instead of setting yourself free. What else? It's about acceptance. Regardless of what your energy is, you have to accept it. You can mold it, shape it, change it, but you still have to accept it. You can't be in denial of your being or where you come from. Some people find out that they have dark in their bloodline and they're all of a sudden like beating themselves up for it, think it's a way to lose hope, all of that. But in all reality, you can change and shift your vibration. It doesn't necessarily mean that because your last ancestor was a serial killer or something, that's what you're vibrating. That's not the case, okay? You do have that in your bloodline, but it's not your vibration. It's still a 3D bloodline. Bloodline is 3D. Vibration is 5D. So you got to remember what's 3D, what's 5D, and still learn to mold them together when the time and the place is necessary. So, whatever your bloodline is, it doesn't matter. It does help the natural talents, the natural knowledge, and all of that with the soul, but it doesn't create your whole being, because your whole being is, in all reality, in the universe, it's ageless. It's been here since the beginning, since creation of the universe. The universe has no age. So your soul is exactly the same. Your body has an age. That's why I say I'm over 7,000 years old. That is 7,000 years old on Earth, with different lives, with different histories, changes, evolving. Like, now I'm in this 2000 world and I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to do this no more, Because certain things are similar to me. Certain things are the same. But when you see the illusion getting more and more vivid, it's frightening. It's frightening for the soul that knows, oh my God, this is fake, and people are dying for it, or people are bowing to it, or people are killing for it, things like that. And it blows your mind and you just feel stuck. The more lives you live, the harder this is going to get. And I'm going to say that now. Your mission, your overall soul mission, which I already told y'all what mine two are. I have to wake you guys up and ascend y'all for the Andromedians. And I have to basically set my people free like I'm Moses to gain myself back to the realm. And I have to basically sacrifice myself, not in a twisted, kill myself way, but sacrifice my soul for other people, to free other people from modern slavery or the illusions of the fact that they don't have a voice or soul for themselves. That is power. I want to give people back their power. The power that we're all meant to have. As a soul, as an energy, as a piece of the universe that is visiting Earth and experiencing this body experience. That's what I'm supposed to do. Sounds like a lot, don't it? For one person who is a mom of 3 and just lives in the suburbs in Georgia, huh? It is, trust me. This is why I go through my mood switches and I'm still learning about myself, because even though I have all this knowledge of self, I'm learning how to apply it to this world. I'm learning how to maybe be more social so I can learn other people's origins or things like that. So we're always still learning within ourselves. But I am old as hell. I basically, like, most of the people that come to me for guidance are older than me. They're not younger than me. They're older than me. And I feel an honor for it. Because then I know, okay, this person does believe in old souls. This person is open-minded. I can tell them the truth. The full truth of what I get from being in their energy field. You know, when people book readings, classes, services, any type of services like that, they literally ask me to become their Jiminy the Cricket. A lot of people, I am their conscious. To some people, I am their guide. I am their physical 3D guide. Like an angel guide, but in their physical world. I am a counselor to most. A mentor to a few. Like, literally, people come to me to be their conscious. When they can't decide something, they come to me. Should I do this or should I not do this? And I give them my advice, my wisdom, my experience. Even though I have not experienced it in this life, I know I experienced it in another life because I feel it. The emotion, it's matching. What they're saying, I'm feeling the same thing before they tell me that's how they feel about it. So there's a connection. There's a familiar feeling there. And that makes my job a blessing in all reality. And the only reason it's formed into a job is because I have kids to feed and bills to pay in this modern society. In this life, I have responsibilities like everybody else does. And if I don't, I'll die out there. You know what I mean? I ain't trying to die out there living in a bridge with 3 babies under 10 years old. You know what I mean? And then you got CPS and the government and all of this up your ass. No thanks. This life form is very, very adventurous with a lot of perks, but also with a lot of downfalls in this lifetime here, in this modern time here. It's confusing. You're being pulled by 2 sides in everything in this specific time frame here. Okay? And it's hard. It's going to get harder. You know what I mean? There's times where I feel sad that I brought kids into this chaotic world. And I shouldn't feel that way, but I do. I gotta sneeze. Self-validation right here. It's like, you know when you get the tingles, but it's not coming? Anyway, like I was saying, so it's harder. It's getting harder. And if we don't learn the lesson now in this lifetime, we're going to live in the next generation of lifetime. And it's going to be even harder. We're basically going to have no control, no power over ourselves. It's like living with a prison number in a FEMA camp. Like, you can't speak, you can't express, you can't learn, you can't read. Back to the, like, it's nuts. Oh my God. The next lifetime ain't gonna be easier. It's gonna be harder. And you're gonna have the same freaking mission of either ascending, healing, whatever the heck it is. You're gonna have that same mission, but the times are gonna get harder to do it. It's gonna get more and more impossible with time. Okay? So wake up this lifetime and do some soul research and dig into your roots and realize why you're interested in Egypt or things like that. Because the more you focus on you and how to figure out who you are in real life, the more people are intimidated and curious to learn about themselves, or they want you to help them get started. They don't know where to start, but you do. And a lot of times our awakening happens with rock bottom. Some of us, it happens with rock bottom. Some of us just don't want to feel a certain way no more, so we start researching and it opens up a whole rabbit hole. And that's how it starts. You're going through the rabbit hole, Alice. You're going through the rabbit hole. Okay? And that's a good thing. That's a blessing. Yeah, people might not be able to handle your essence. People might not like you for no reason, but that's okay. They're not supposed to, because they have many lives to still live while you're figuring out yours and stopping that process so you can stay a free energy in the universe. Maybe do some star surfing or, planet explosions for fun or all of that, because you're just a piece of the universe. You're not reliving this species or seeing history change or things like that, or feeling deep emotions that you don't know how to control, or feeling pain or suffering or sadness or torture. As an energy, you don't feel none of that. You're just a mist, a beautiful, magical, illuminating mist. And it's a blessing to be awake. Fully. No part-time, no half-time, no nothing. Fully. You always got to look at the bigger picture, to the bigger picture of things. If you see it a certain way, just dig a little deeper about it. Because not only that, you're expanding your brain to be as limitless as your universe. You're actually growing that percentage of how much you use in your brain. We only use 10% of our brain, but the more knowledge you soak in and the more you know your truths and you wake up and ascend and deal with energy and all of this, you're using more and more percentage of your brain. And that gives you an advantage over the human species in a way. Because you are now learning their patterns, why they do certain things, why they don't. Why is it this way? Why isn't it? And that is a gift. That is a gift to advance the mind and expand that percentage than the average human. You are special. You are chosen. You are given to spread this knowledge, to teach people and educate them on what they are and what their soul is. Your soul is immortal. You are basically a deity. Maybe not a deity in the history books, but do you know how many deities there are? Do you know how many gods and goddesses there are? There's so many we can't even learn some of them. They're not in books. They're not in Google. They're not, because that's all limited man consciousness, Google and all of that. So you're still learning what a human thinks is the right answer, but things go so beyond that. And you have to figure it out how to dig deeper than that. Trust your soul. Your soul tells you everything. It is experiencing everything and nothing at the same time. All of this experience here, your soul, it's experiencing it, yes. But at the same time, it's kind of like it's illusion as well. We can't take things too serious in this 3D plane. But at the same time, we have to be able to trust within. When you take things so seriously and make everything more on an emotional vibration, you are creating an ultimate illusion because your soul doesn't really have that emotion vibration. Get it? I just probably blew some of your minds right now. Oh, but that's what I'm trying to say here, okay? So, if you need a Jiminy the Cricket, or maybe you are having trouble hearing your conscious and need work on it, or how to evolve it or make it louder, or, things like that. I'm good at that stuff. You know what I mean? I can easily help you. I put the link of my business page on there. Like I said, I'm also a guide. I'm a life coach. I'm a seer. I also, not really into the healing energies. I don't do Reiki or none of that. It drains the hell out of me, so I choose not to do it. But I do know a lot of people that do Reiki, so you need that, let me know. Spiritual tools, natural holistic medicines, I do those. Just whatever you need, I got you. That's what I'm trying to say, because like I said, I'm my raw self, and all I'm trying to do is help you guys expose your raw self. Your heart, your mind, your soul. Those are the most priceless treasures that you have. And when you can expose them, there's no reason to feel limited or have baggage or secrets or skeletons or whatever you call them. You don't need them. Those are just weights on your soul. Okay? Be raw and open. Admit you got flaws. Change them if you could. Be yourself, your messy self. If you're a hot mess, be yourself. If you're calm, be yourself. If you're quiet, be yourself. If you're loud, be yourself. Just find a way to be yourself where it helps evolve your species at the same time. Okay? Positive vibes. That's what it means. Positive vibes just go deeper than you just pretending to be happy and pretending to wish people well. Positive vibes go as deep as the root and the soul, the seed, your soul. Okay? And that means exposing your soul and inspiring others to expose themselves as well. They're natural beauties. Not this face, not these curves. The natural beauty. See that speck in my eye? That's my natural beauty. That's my magic. And that's what pulls people in. This is connected to that. Just learn to connect this to this to this. And to this. That's all I'm saying, okay? So stay awesome. And spread this message so that people can actually get more open and curious about what they are. Like, all I need is a selfie of you to tell you what your origins are or what your age is. Your natural being age on earth here. It's that simple as a picture, because a picture freezes your aura at that moment. It freezes your attachments. It freezes everything that I can see with my ability. So, help people wake up. Share this video. Start spreading the word. Start researching yourself and spreading your truth and inspiring others to spread their selves as well. Because you have nothing to hide. And when you have nothing to hide, that can be a threat to the species. Because they have no ammunition to use against you, because everybody knows everything. Get it? And you live more in peace because you have less haters. Because they have nothing to use against you. You're just vibrate fabulous, know what you are. And if people have a problem with you being who you are and being confident in yourself, that's not your issue, that's theirs. And that's their job to work on it, not you. Okay? Stay woke. One love.